Hey girl, hey. Hey boys, hey. Welcome back to my channel. It's Mama Beauties here. Hey everyone. Happy Sunday, fun day. I am coming at you live from North Carolina. Welcome all my humble beauties. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new. You are safe here. This is a community where we don't hate, we participate, we articulate, and we agree to disagree. So you are welcome to be here with a difference of opinion. The only thing that I ask is that you keep the comments nice and not hateful, and everybody shows everyone respect. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is having the best Sunday ever. I know I slept a lot longer than I wanted to, but hey, when you need it, right? I'm wearing some of my handmade earrings. They've got little Christmas trees on them. I made those myself. And for anybody that is looking for a hobby, coloring is a very fantastic way to just forget about the world around you and focus and be therapeutic. It is amazing little hobby. Making jewelry is very cheap and it's a great hobby. It's very therapeutic, believe it or not. Sitting there working with little bitty tiny little pieces, it is intricate and it's therapeutic. It really is. So I didn't think that it would be, but it is. Also, there are shows that you could binge watch, something that you might have missed the last few seasons on. You could always do that. You could get the shows on iTunes. You could get Hulu, Netflix, whatever. I do that a lot whenever I have these thoughts and I start to get dark and lonely. Then I decide to just watch a whole season of something. I decide a whole new genre of something that I've never even watched before, and I'll just binge watch it to keep my mind busy, because that is the best way to combat addiction, loneliness, depression, is to find something that you like. Now, it's really hard to do that if you're still codependent and you're living a codependent life, because in those situations, all you know is what your significant other knows, what they like, what they want to do. So you forget about yourself. You kind of lose yourself along the way, and you forget to think about what you like, and you're constantly trying to please everyone around you, and you forget to even take out any time for yourself. And so that is the worst thing that you could ever possibly do if you are trying to survive. That is not going to make life easier on you if you are constantly trying to focus on everyone else. You've got to find out what you yourself enjoys and what makes you happy, and start focusing a little bit of time a week for yourself. Hello, everyone. Before I get on to what I am here to talk about, hey, Maria. Oh, thank you for staying awake, Maria. Love. I have not gotten back to all my emails. There are some emails I have not checked, but I wanted to come live and go ahead and get this video out here because it just really irks me with these kind of things that is going on. Yay! I thought about making wreaths. That looks very fun. Frey, what are you doing? Okay, so I just buy them from you. Going to order some blow pop earrings, those multicolored fluffy ones. Oh, I know exactly which ones they are, Paula. I'll put them to the side for you. So, ladies, last night there was something going on in my chat, and I'm not going to name drop anybody, and I would hope that you guys don't get in an argument over this, but I want to put this out there. There are people that are in position of power that will use their position of power to wrong you. And this happens to men and women on a daily basis, through sexual harassment at work, through just people knowing that someone looks up to them, and they use that to get what they want out of you. And so there are lots and lots of people. Frey, go on now. Come on. Hold on. Okay. So we know about the R&B singer that is in prison right now and all the things that he has done. We know about some other men in position of power that have done some really, really questionable things. And it's going on around us all day, every day. And so I want you guys to know that you are the only ones that can stop it. You have to be strong enough and powerful enough to see this coming. You have to know that everyone's intentions are not always going to be good, and that people will play you and pretend to be helping you just to get whatever ulterior motives that they have in mind. And so you have to be aware that when you go into a new job. It might be your dream job and you're willing to do whatever it takes because this is your dream job and you've always wanted to work there. And someone will see that and they will prey upon you for that. They will know that that is something that you highly value and that you're passionate about, and people pick up on those things and they use that information against you later on down the road to get what they want from you. And so you have to be aware that these predators and these monsters and these people that stalk you, men or women, are smart, and they pick people like that for a reason. They prey upon people that aren't strong enough to see that it's a ploy. They make sure that they pick somebody that is just lonely and waiting for someone to show them attention, or they pick somebody that they know really wants it and that they would be willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And so you have to be careful what information that you give out. You have to be careful with what you share about yourself with people in a position of power. Because if they're not on the same playing field as you, they have more control than you think. And so I'm seeing women and men daily be manipulated by these people and just played. And I just want to make sure that it's out there that these people exist, that it could happen to you on any day of the week. And all it would take would be for you to meet somebody that is in a position of power or authority over you, that you feel almost obligated to do what they want. And then these people, when it starts happening, when they start getting people to do things for them, it feeds their narcissism. It feeds their just ugliness. And so they want to see if they can get away with even more the next time. And so each time it gets bigger and bigger, and you're just a pawn in their little messed up head. And so I just want you guys to be aware of your bosses. Not everybody is like this, of course. Don't walk around like looking over your shoulder all the time, but just be aware that, not always is that monster going to look like a monster. I mean, look at Chris. So many people said that he was, just the best dad and this, that, and another. And you just never know about these people. I mean, look at the R&B singer that we've all heard his songs over and over and over, but we never knew what was going on behind closed doors. And so you just have to be careful. You have to protect yourself. You have to not give away that information to these people. Don't let them know that it's your dream job. Don't let them know that they have any kind of control over you whatsoever. And it's really hard to say in hindsight, but being in those positions, you are the only person that can be strong enough to make sure that it doesn't happen to the next person. And that's what keeps happening, is that these people prey upon people that aren't going to tell, and they know this ahead of time. And it's so disgusting to know that this has been going on for decades, and women and men have been afraid of saying anything, and that it is just fed these sick people to the extremes, to where they have 20s and 30 different people underneath their belt that they've assaulted or that they've done these things to. And so I just want you guys to know that not always are you going to see it coming. Not always are you going to feel like that person is out to get you. There will be lots of times where you are blindsided by it, and there will be lots of times where you entrust the person that is doing this to you with all your heart and soul. And so you just really refuse to believe that that's what they're doing too. You kind of justify their actions. And so I've been in these positions before. I know what it's like to feel like, well, this person did this for me, and so maybe I should go against everything I believe and bend a little because I'm kind of obligated. And no, 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 they get you to that point. They would never come and approach a strong, powerful woman that knows her worth. They would never go toe to toe with somebody like that. They go toe to toe with somebody that they feel that they can manipulate, and that you're broken, and that you'll look at them as a hero, as they're coming to fix you. But in all actuality, their needs and wants was the ulterior motive from the get. People are master manipulators, and they lie and deny and take full advantage of people. And also, if you're ever wanting an apology from these people, they never will. They don't even see that they're doing anything wrong. In their minds, they have told themselves, well, I've gotten away with it this time, and this time, and none of these girls have said anything, or none of these guys have said anything. So this must be okay. So I must be allowed to do this. And so they just keep doing it and doing it. We don't know if any of these people that have gotten caught have done it to multiple people before that. So we don't know that these people that have gotten away with it haven't done it to multiple people afterwards, because they're good at hiding it. They're good at picking people that they know won't tell. They're good at picking the person that they know really wants what they're giving them. They know that they could never go toe to toe with me today, who I am today. But 4 years ago, I probably would have done anything and everything a person in power would have told me to do. So you have to build yourself up to a point where these people will know that not to come after you. They will know that you know you're strong and beautiful and courageous, and that you've overcame, and it's made you this pillar of strength that you are today. Anyone and everyone that has PTSD in any way, shape, or form is stronger than you think. You are a survivor. You made it through that. You might not be unscathed, but you are ready and prepared for it to ever happen again, and you refuse to be a victim again. And so you get stronger and stronger each ugly, horrible thing that you survive and make it for, and you start thriving. And then people know not to mess with you. People know that you're not the one to scam. People know that you're not the one to try to dox or bring out, or they know not to go up against you, because you exuberate confidence, because you exuberate strength, because you're not going to let that moment define you. Don't let what that abuser did to you define who you are in your future, who you are today. Let that them make you stronger. Let them build you up. Let them lift you and show the world that you are an overcomer, that you demand respect because of what you've been through. And just know that it's in there, it's inside of you. It took 40, almost 37 years for this to come out of me, but it was in there all along. So many people just kept beating me down and breaking me down and keeping me low. And when I was low, I didn't think I was worthy. And when I was low, I was willing to do anything for these people. When I was low, I looked up to these people. I even started thinking like these people. But when you break away from that cycle and you break away from that chain and you become independent and no longer codependent, it is like a rebirthing experience. It is like a brand new you, like you've never seen before, and you won't even recognize yourself when you start lifting yourself back up to the person that you know you are, that you've suppressed, that you've lost along the way because you were too busy trying to make other people happy. But once you find that girl again, once you find that you like to color, that you like to do this, that you like to binge watch certain shows, that you're addicted to Investigation Discovery Channel, that you love making YouTube videos, that you find out about you learn who you are and what makes you tick and what is your triggers and what bothers you. And so you can adapt your environment to where you're never in drama, to where not your heart's not beating fast with adrenaline ever, unless it's excitement, because you know how to control your environment to where those things don't happen. You know and recognize toxic people the second they come in your life. And you can get there. I promise you. You just have to do it yourself. You have to break away and find the quickest way to start is to take time for you once a week. If you just don't have time for it, do it once a week. Take 30 minutes a week for you. And the first 30 minutes, you're going to sit there and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I've never really took 30 minutes for myself. What do I do? This is weird. And you won't know what to do with yourself. But the next 30 minutes, you'll have thought of something through that week. Oh, I'm going to do this on my 30 minutes. And you're going to do it, and you're going to have the time of your life doing it. And after you're done, you're going to be like, why don't I ever take any time for me? And you'll be thinking of things every week, and then it'll turn to an hour. And then it'll turn to every day. And then you will become happier than you've ever been in your life because you are taking time out to love you. You are loving you. And it's hard when you haven't loved yourself in so long. It's very hard and it feels weird and wrong almost. But it's not. You have to retrain your brain. You've taught yourself that you don't deserve this. And you have to retrain your brain that you do, and that you are worthy, and that you do have support. You just have to accept it. And it's really hard to when you're hiding everything that's going on in your home life, and when nobody knows the real truth of what's going on, and you're hiding your addiction, and no one knows that you're struggling to find the money to get your drug of choice, and that you're struggling when you don't have it. No one knows. And that's the hardest battle to fight alone. And I just want you guys to know that if you can't reach out to your family, if you can't reach out to your friends because you're afraid, then reach out to me. I'm a total stranger. I've been there. I know what it's like to be the lowest of my low. And now that I'm on cloud nine and that I've controlled my environment for 2 full years now, and been sober for 2 full years now, I haven't been with anybody in 4 years. I am at a place where I can help others. And so I'm going to put my email right here, you guys. This was my way of reaching out to you guys. If you feel like you might be in a situation like this right now and you want some advice, please email me. There's my email at the bottom, and I will do the best I can to give you the best advice that I can give. And I want to be here for you. I've been there, lost and alone and broken and not knowing who I am. And I just want you to know that you're not alone and that people are there for you. Yes, you guys' comments are awesome. Just saying that these things happen on here too, not in here, of course, just YouTube in general, and they're real people in and use them. Yes, so true. It's good you got out and found your voice. I admire you for that. Yes, I love A. Andrew's story. Hopefully she'll share it with us one day, all of us. Jerry wants you to know it's making a massive difference having your support. Oh, thank you, Joe Conway. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you and Jerry are friends too. That gives me just, you guys just make my heart flutter. Guess what? I'm so grateful. Bought my first car. Well, I've had cars, but I have never a new car. Girl, you go. I'm so happy for you. I know what it feels like getting your first new car. I think I got mine a year ago, and I'm 41. So you are getting it, girl. I'm proud of you. And mine got repossessed. I couldn't afford the $500 a month car payment. But you're going to get it. You're going to get it. I know you are, Elizabeth. Your nails should be there Monday that I sent for your daughter. Senior citizens are the most vulnerable. Scammers and manipulators love to find naive, trusting. Yes, I agree, Donna. And once I get my Mary Kay up and running, I'm actually going to start going to take care of those little ladies at the nursing home. I'm going to go pamper their faces because they love them some Mary Kay too. I'm so happy for you, Elizabeth. I hope you know how strong you are for sharing your story. Oh, I'm not even done sharing my story, you guys. There's so much more that I need to share. I'm just not ready to be upset. I want to be happy, and I'll probably share more stories after the holidays because the holidays are really tough. We all know that, especially if you don't have your loved ones. I mean, they're really, really hard. And so I don't want to open up the water gates telling you guys more of my tragic stories until after the holidays are over and I've been the best mom I can be through the holidays. Bad Mish. Beautiful. Thank you for all your hard work and support and also being brave enough to tell your story. You don't know how many lives you saved by simply speaking up. Thank you. Oh, Bad Bish. That means a lot to me. Thank you. You're so inspirational and wise beyond your years. So many people can be helped by your understanding and love. Yes, and I messed up. I mean, I chose a man that was 15 years younger than me over my daughter so many times. I told her she was just jealous that she didn't want me to be with him, that she thought he was too young for me, and he was shooting up heroin every day, and I was in denial about it. I would say, no, he's not doing that anymore. He's not. And my daughter was pleading with me in middle school to please leave this guy, that he did not deserve me. And I would just battle with her and just tell her that she just didn't want me to be with anyone. And it was horrible. And I know what it's like to be in that position and to choose a loser piece of you know what over my own kid. And he was getting power off of that. He even taunted her afterwards, like, your mom wants me more than you. And I was the idiot that thought that he was the only person that could ever love me, or that I needed a man, that I couldn't survive without being with a man. And I did think that back then. I was super codependent. And now I'm so independent that I won't even go out on a date, you guys. I won't even go out on a date. I went out on a date, one date 3 years ago. And as soon as I left the date, I made him meet me at a restaurant. And as soon as I left the date, he started texting me, do I do backdoor sex? And not in those words. And so I was ruined after that. I'm just like, I will never, ever. Society has ruined dating. And immediately when someone asks for your phone number, they want nude pictures. Everybody wants to just Netflix and chill. And for the people that are more mature that don't know what that means come to my house. We're going to watch Netflix and we're going to have sex. So they've ruined old-fashioned dating. Everything has changed, and I don't want any part of it. It's disgusting and gross, and I'm just no. I mean, after you've been with somebody for so many years, yeah, you can spice up your relationship or whatever. I'm not saying the act and all of that is bad. I'm just saying that you don't do that on day one. You don't talk like that when you just meet somebody. And then there's so many women that have responded to him doing that that he thinks that that's okay. Men are ruined, and so are women. They have completely forgotten how to act while dating. They just expect um, that you owe them that because they bought you a meal. It's disgusting, and it goes both ways. Oh, I'm so sorry, Crystal. My grandmother had Alzheimer's, and she always thought I was my mama. It made me happy, though, because my mom was passed at the time, so. Woo! I'm glad you're here, DJ Wolfpack 9. Welcome, welcome. This is a great little community. Mouths of the babes. You're a human, though. You make mistakes. Glad you got out of that situation, though. Yes. I mean, I literally he'd go to the gas station, and I went to the gas station, and I would ask the attendant, where is he? And he would go to the bathroom. Well, I popped the bathroom lock and opened the door, and he was in there shooting up. So, I mean, and I would kick him out, and he would say that he's better and he's done with that. And it was a vicious cycle, and my precious little daughter had to go through it. I so relate to you. Been by myself for 4 years and clean for 2 years. I will never date again. Oh, wow, Susie Q. That is exactly how I am. Been by myself 4 years and clean for 2. Wow. You should email me sometime. Amen to that. I've decided me almost 8 years now and have no desire to go on a date. Maybe a nursing home. Maybe in a nursing home. Yeah, that's the way I feel too. I'm going to wait until my son turns 18 before I even say yes to going out on a date. So I've got 10 more years. I will be 51 years old when I say yes to a date. I like going to the grocery store and buying the food that I like. I like having control of the remote. I like that I can keep my phone on silent all day long and I'm not in trouble with anyone. I mean, my parents are passed, so they're not freaking out wondering why I'm not answering my phone. So I don't have a significant other. So my phone, I could lose in a couch cushion and never have to worry about it. And I'm not in trouble because I didn't respond to somebody. It's crazy. Even if I did start dating someone, they would have to get used to the fact that I'm not a slave to my phone. I keep it on silent and then I check it when the thought crosses my head. I'll go over there, and people could have called me 3 hours earlier. And my friends just know that that's what I do. I'm not a slave to my phone. It stays on silent, so I never know when it's ringing. I will just call those people back. And I very seldom even check the voicemail. I've been single for 12 years because I have always picked losers. Me too, sister. You finally get to a point where you're just like, look, I'm done picking. The problem is that you meet people's representative. I've always said that for the first 6 months of dating someone, whether you live together or not, you meet someone's representative. And then the true them comes out after 6 months of either living with them or dating them, and you find out who they truly are. So there are those instances where people meet, they fall in love, they get married after a week, and they live happily ever after. I'm not saying it's that for everyone. There are great, strong relationships that ended up growing forever, and they met on a whim and stayed together. But the majority of people change in the first 6 months. Mark my words. Happy Sunday to you, Jackie. I'm sorry, Joe. Sitting here thinking that my husband is in another state, pressing the word of God and leaving his life anew. And look what he did. Raining say today. Can you tell I'm sad? I'm sorry, Jackie. It's just so hard to trust anyone after abuse. How can we trust again? Yes. And trust, to me, I used to, people started with 100% trust and they broke it away. But because I got used and abused so much, now people start with zero and they have to earn my trust. And if they don't want to earn it, that's fine. That's their right. And I just don't trust them. And that's the way that it is, unfortunately. Those are residual effects of being abused. You can be the strongest lady on the planet, but you're still not going to trust. My problem started with a knee replacement. I stopped, picked back up with the loss of my twin. It's hard, and I love this channel because people are kind and supportive. Yes, Crystal, it is very hard, love, and you are welcome here. We love having your contribution. We love having you in general, and thank you for sharing that about your twin. I know that was very, very hard for you. And email me anytime, and we'll just chat. Still here in my addiction for 30 years, been sober since 2009. I work with addicts in recovery every day. Yay, still here. You're on your decade, your freaking decade mark. That is amazing. Wow. So proud of you. You get it, girl. Get it, get it. Good morning, Mama, from Mesa, Arizona. It's a beautiful day down there. Oh, you're so lucky. It's cold and windy here in North Kakalaka. Hugs, Jackie. Yes. Jackie. Yes, Lily Mel said, sorry about your twin, Crystal. Oh, my goodness. It has been a tough few years, that's for sure. You opted this channel for a reason, and I can't thank you enough because you don't know how many people, including me, helped become strong enough to leave. Oh, Bad Bish, that is so awesome. Woo! Give her a hand, too. Love it. I'm so proud of all my subs. You guys are great. You really do mean the world to me. I mean, literally, each and every one of you. I'm starting to get to know you through our emails. I feel like I'm super close to a lot of you, and I'm just proud to have this community. I'm so lucky. You guys have humbled me, you know? I've always thought, well, my life is so hard because I've never met, people that have been through what I've been through. And I just thought that my life was so hard and that nobody could ever understand because they've not been through what I've been through. And then I come to this channel and it's humbling. I've heard some very tragic stories, and it makes, my story minute and minuscule and small. And so it's been very humbling, and I am so sorry that these things go on in this nasty world that we live in. But the only way that we can fight back is to become strong within ourselves and to use that hurt and pain to heal and become a better person and help others along the way. Because trust me, once you've survived something, you can spot it a mile away. You'll be able to see it with your own eyes. You can say, hey, that girl looks like she's in the position that I used to be in. That action reminds me of how I used to be. I wonder if I should reach out to her. Maybe she needs my help. And so you don't know how many times I've went and picked women up and let them come stay at my house because their man thinks they have nowhere to go. And that's the problem with a lot of it, is that once a man finds out that he has alienated you from your family, or a woman can do this to a man too, that they have alienated you from your family, that you no longer talk to your friends, that you rely on them for your food, your electricity, your everything. They make sure that you become completely reliant on them, and they break you away from anybody and everyone that can help you. And so once they find out that you have no other option, that's when they get worse. That's when they start showing you the ugliest side of them, is when you have nowhere to go but outside, and they have control of locking the door and making you sleep out there. When me and my ex moved to Mexico, He had already won custody of a daughter that wasn't even his in court because he had money and I didn't. And so he won custody of my kids in court, and he won custody of my daughter that wasn't even his. Gabri, the one you guys have met. All right. And my lawyer told me that the only way that I could get custody back of my children was to remarry my abuser. That the divorce gave him custody of the children, and the only way that I could get that back was to remarry him. So I remarried him. And then he got caught growing pounds and pounds of marijuana in the United States. And so he bonded out before ICE could get him because he was an illegal immigrant from El Salvador. And he ended up somehow getting a Mexican passport and going to Mexico. Okay. And I didn't want to lose my kids, and we were married and we didn't go through a divorce yet. So I moved to Mexico with him. Him, my two sons, and my daughter, and I all moved to Mexico with him. And when he got me there, when he knew that I was stuck in Mexico with him, it got so bad, you guys, to the point that he locked me out one night because the only way to get away from him was to run out the front door. But then when the police get called in Mexico, I don't speak Spanish. So he gets to tell them whatever he wants to tell them. And the police did come, and he like shocked me because they were getting ready to take me to Mexican jail. And I begged and pleaded and said that I would just leave and leave my kids over there with him. So I ended up making it right with him because I didn't want to go to Mexican jail. So I stayed in that apartment with him. And then when he realized that he had that much control over me, the abuse got worse. And one night he pushed me outside, and I had to sleep outside in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, by myself. This white girl with blonde hair just sticking out like a sore thumb in the middle of Mexico, because that's when I had blonde hair. And I ended up hiding myself and having to sleep outside. It was terrifying. I was terrified. But he knew that he could do that to me because I had nowhere to go. I had no one. I had to do anything and everything that he asked me to do because not even my family had the money for a plane ticket to get me home. And I sure as hell wasn't going home by myself without my kids. And so he had control. And it got worse, and it was bad. And finally, I met someone, or we as a couple met this other couple that was in Mexico. And it was a Jamaican, and his American girlfriend was there, and they had a business, and he gave me a job. And I told him, I confided in him at work one day. I finally told him, look, I think I had a big bruise on the back of my arm. And he asked me what it was about. And I told him. And him and his wife that night decided to give me like 3,000 US dollars and to set me up in an apartment and to protect me and to give me a job and to let me work while I was in Mexico selling timeshare, and helped me pay for a babysitter for my children so I could go to work every day. And those people helped me find myself. And I finally got away from him, but I had to have the support of those people. I would still be with him right now if I didn't have that support. And so you guys got to know that you can't do it alone. You'll just keep going back. So you have to entrust someone. You have to tell somebody everything that's going on, and that's the only way you're going to be able to get out, because they like to make sure you are eating out the palm of their hand. He took my driver's license. He took my social security card every time we broke up in the United States before we went to Mexico. So I couldn't go out there and work. So when we would go to court, he would look good because I'm still waiting for a birth certificate or trying to get a social security card so I can even apply for work. Just know that if I can survive and I can become who I am today, that you can too. And I was in a whole nother country, a third world country. And so I want to be here for you. I want to be that support. I might not be able to help you financially, but we'll find somebody that can. We'll start up a GoFundMe to get you out. We'll do something. We will. You're not alone. Reach out. A perfect stranger helped me get away from my abuser. And we became great friends. I stayed living in Mexico for 2 years, and me and his wife and him, we all became just wonderful friends. And I will never forget those people for what they did for me, for helping me get out. Exactly. And I want to give back. I paid them back after I started making great money selling timeshare. That was the best money I ever made. As soon as I left my abuser, I got the best job I've ever had in my entire life. Soon as I left them. Soon as I got off drugs 2 years ago, my life started becoming the best I've ever felt in my entire life. Even better than the first time I took a pain pill, which was I got really high, but it's better. It gets better. As long as you're stuck in the trenches of abuse and domestic violence and addiction, it will not get better. It will get worse. But once you get out, I'm telling you, I am living proof it gets better. You become the best version of yourself that no one will ever take away. Remember that. Know that. Tell yourself, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're worthy. He's got you to this point. He's made you become who you dislike so much, or she has, because women abuse men just as much, you guys. Oh, thank you for raising your grandbaby, Beverly. There's so many grandparents that do that. There's so many grandparents that take on the responsibility of raising their grandchildren. And I am the first to tell you that having my granddaughter around, it's different. I'm older. I'm not quick and spring chicken like I used to be. And so it's a sacrifice that these grandparents are making to raise their grandchildren. They already raised the parents. And so if you are one of those moms or dads and you're out there just doing whatever it is that you're doing, and your mom and dad have your kid all the time, shame on you. Shame on you. You could do better. You can, and you know that. Angels do come as strangers in the world. That's right. Perfect stranger. So the next time he kicked me out, you guys, the next time he locked me out, I grabbed a pillow on the way out the front door and I marched my little happy butt right over to their house, and I showed up on their doorstep with my pillow under my arm, and I said, he's pushed me out again. And they said, nope, not anymore. We're going to get your kids. And they took me over there. We got my kids. We got my stuff. And I left him. And I never went back. Never, ever, 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 ever went back. And we're still married to this day. Yep. Still married. You know that deep belly laughter you get after newly getting sober? You laugh like you've not laughed in years. Tish has experienced this laughter. Thank you for all this prayers. Yes, I know what you mean. I was telling someone that 2 years ago. I was like, wow, I feel. This is weird. I feel, because I couldn't even cry that much when my dad died. That's how high I was. Like, it was, once you get sober, you get that laughter, but you also will end up getting grief if anyone ended up passing while you were on your drug binges. The grief will overwhelm you as well. So you have to be very careful and make sure you're surrounded by a lot of support. But I'm so glad that Trish is laughing. Get it, girl. Yep, I lost custody of all 3 of my kids too to him, and my lawyer told me to remarry him, and I did. And so when I left, I had to leave my 2 sons with him, but I brought my daughter with me. All I need is my pillow. That's right. I go to the hospital with daughter to have him, and I brought him home. I remember, baby love, and we've been praying for both. I'm so happy. I wasn't speaking of your situation. I know what you're going through. Your precious daughter had the baby, and we've been praying for the baby. You are a good grandmother. How is he doing? Is he sleeping good? Is he eating good, Beverly? That's right. No one can ever take that away. We had to fight for our lives, got them back, had our third daughter, and have been clean 3 years. It is possible. Recovery is possible. Yes. You guys, I lost my first daughter when she was 9 months old in court because her father tricked me into signing over my parental rights, telling me that the grandparents needed to get Medicaid for her and that they couldn't do it because I was her legal guardian, and that the only way they could get legal guardianship was for me to sign over my parental rights. And I did it at 19 years old. I was stupid. I didn't have a lawyer, and they said that I could talk to my daughter right after and have a relationship with her, and they didn't ever let me talk to her. So the last time I saw my first child, Abigail, who is turning 22 this year, on December 19th, she'll be 22. I have not seen my 22-year-old daughter since she was 9 months old. And every time I have tried to reach out, they have told me that they would get me for harassment. And she moved away to Wilmington. And so I have not even laid eyes on her since she was 9 months old, my precious Abigail. And I will tell that story one day. It is really, really sad and devastating on why they took her from me and how it all happened and how it went down. But I'm not willing to share that part of my life right now because it is very controversial. And I don't want to open up those floodgates just yet. I like being involved in a group of people that are truly excited to see others succeed. I enjoy seeing other people succeed in sobriety, in their finances, and in life. Me too, Crystal. I rather other people do it than me. The hospital tried tricking me by signing all parental rights. I went off. See? Same thing. It's awful that people do that. Then you have my daughter who won't let me see my grandson. Now the father has custody. Now he won't let me see him. 3 months now, and we have had no contact. I'm so sorry, Jackie. That's horrible. Me and my son-in-law were arguing at one point after my grandchild was born, and I didn't get to see them either. And I fixed that real quick. I made sure to kiss butt and do what I had to do to make him like me again. So you do what you got to do just to be in those babies' lives. Thank you, Miss T. I'm so sorry, Sandy. She was named after my mother too, and my mother was murdered by my stepfather when I was 14, and my mom's name was Gail. And so I named my first child Abigail after my mom, Gail. So, yes. And I'll just put it this way. When I was 19, I was very confused. I was having an identity crisis. I was having a sexual identity crisis. I was just going through it. My mother had been murdered only 5 years before that. I was pregnant. It was a big surprise that I got pregnant. I was living with her father and her father's mom and dad at the time. And so Abigail's father's mother had lost a little girl before and then ended up having two boys. So she really wanted a little girl so bad. And then they all hated me because of who I was with. wasn't normal in North Carolina in 1992. It wasn't accepted like it is now. And it was just a time in my life where I was mad at men, and I thought that I was never going to be with another one. Put it that way. It was a blessing because now we are flourishing. Yes, that's right. I can't wait for you to watch either, love. Miss T, we have so much in common. I bet your daughter knows you are on YouTube. Well, guess what, Bernadette? She is on my daughter's Facebook. Her and my daughter are friends, and they've never talked. Isn't that crazy? They are friends on Facebook, so I get to watch her and the stuff that she posts. I've sent her messages. I know that she's read them, but I've never told her what had happened and why, which I will share with her. I want to share with her first before I share it with you guys. You see what I'm saying? And I will share it with you guys. I promise you, because it was wrong. It was wrong what happened to me. And I was 19 and naive, and I believed everything that I was told. And so I want to share it with other women so it doesn't happen to you. But I'll tell you this, don't ever go to custody court without a lawyer when the other party has a lawyer. You are going to lose. And there are people out there that will take cases pro bono. You just have to get off of your butt and go talk to them. You cannot show up in court without an attorney, not just family court, any kind of court. Don't go to court and defend yourself unless they're defending themselves. If they don't have a lawyer, fine, you don't have a lawyer. But you cannot go to court up against a lawyer with no lawyer. You see what I mean? Or up against prosecution with no lawyer. If I could give you any advice ever about family court, criminal court, anything, do not ever go and represent yourself unless the other person is representing themselves. That is the worst possible decision you could ever make. And I've seen enough court cases and been in the courtroom enough times that I know that if you show up without a lawyer and the other party has a lawyer, you're toast. You're toast. Yes, she went by Gail. You have been through so much, dear. Bless you for who you are today. You rock. Oh, Sandy, your mom went by Gail too. Love it. Love it. My mom too. Her real name was Gail Ellen instead of Mary Ellen, you know. My grandmother named her Gail Ellen. Gail Ellen. Mama Beauties can give extra support to Joe I. Conway. Yes, for sure. Joe needs to email me, please. I would love to hear from Joe. Here is my email. Did I miss something? Let me go back up and see what Joe said. I'm usually good at keeping up with the chat, but not lately. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I really don't like myself. I hate my life. I'd go back to my old life despite the abuse and cheating just because I wasn't alone and I didn't have issues I have now. Oh, love, you just need somebody to talk to, Joe. I'm so sorry. You need somebody to talk to. I put my email in the chat box. Please, please reach out to me, Joe. And anyone else want to drop your email in the chat box so Joe can get uplifted by us? Joe, we would love for you to talk to us. Yes, please. I have been in that position too before, and it is awful. It is no way to stay. You don't want to stay there. So, you definitely need us to tell you some of the amazing things about yourself. Just share a little bit about yourself with us, Joe, and I promise you that we can come up with how great and how amazing you are, and that you're your worst critic. We always bring ourselves down worse than anyone else in the world can. And so we want to be able to help lift you back up, because you cannot stay down low in that position that you're at right now. It is toxic and it's bad for you. And that you were put in this group for a reason. You're here right now during this live for a reason. And so this is a community where there's so many people that would love to talk to you right now, that would love to help you get through this, and to where you're not hating yourself, to where you're not feeling that way. And no way do you want to go back to that abuse. Cassie put her email in there. There's Cassie's email. Anna's got her email right here. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to talk to you, Joe. If you're still here, if you're not, hopefully you come back and you watch this replay. Just know that you have people that care. All right. A total stranger helped change my life and helped get me out of a very toxic situation that I would have ended up dead, just like my mother, just like her. And so there are people out here that can do the exact same thing for you. Just let us do it, please. I'm begging you. I understand still here. And thank you for taking care of those grandbabies. Good for you. Jackie says to email her. I hope you're still here, Joe. Ah, I wish I would have seen that. I felt awful for missing it. Thank you for pointing it out for me. Still here. Oh, bless. See? Joe, we care. Just reach out to any one of us, please. Whew. I'm going to step over here and hit my jewel. Awesome. Yes, my babies. I had two girls first. I had Abigail in 1997, and then I had Gabrielle in 2000, and then I had Alec in 2004, and then I had Aiden in 2006, and then I had Gage in 2011. So 5 beautiful children, you guys. One daughter that I have never got to hold a conversation with, that is almost 22, who I'm going to reach out to on Christmas. And her birthday is December 19th. So this year, right before her birthday, because I don't want to ruin her birthday, in case she doesn't want to talk to me. But I am going to reach out to her and tell her the true story, and tell her what happened and what went down. And I feel like that I deserve to tell my side. And so the craziest thing is back then I did have a girlfriend, and I thought that I was gay. Okay. The secret's out. That's the biggest thing you could expose on me if you went digging things up, is that I used to think that I was gay. And so when I had Abigail, I ended up leaving her father for a woman that he pushed me to be with. He did, because he was into all that weird stuff. And so he pushed me to be with her. And then I fell in love with her because I was a broken 19-year-old that mother had been killed, that had been molested for 10 years of my life. I was just a mess, and I didn't have a mom, and I didn't have anyone to help guide me. I was just this wayward child. And so I ended up falling in love with her, and I shaved my head just like Britney Spears did. Exact thing that Britney did, but I did it a decade before her. And I shaved my head, and it alarmed the grandparents on her father's side. And the fact that I was gay and that I had a shaved head, that they didn't need to have Abigail in that environment anymore, and I might raise her up to be gay. And my best friend Charlie Brown was gay, and that's who I was living with at the time. And so they just didn't want my gayness to rub off on her. 22 years later, fast forward, she's gay. And I didn't have anything to do with it. There you have it in a nutshell. And now I don't want to be with men or women. I didn't want to be with women a long time ago. I just had Asperger's. I didn't know that I had Asperger's for 41 years, you guys, until my son opened my mind up to it and helped me realize and understand it. And then I realized through the doctors that it shows up differently in women, and that we're good at masking it and all of that. And so I was just going through it. And I know today that I'm not gay, but I didn't make her that, she chose to be that way, or she was born that way, or whatever it is that she believes. That's her right, and she's entitled to that. But it's just crazy how it ended up being what they didn't want me to rub off on her anyway. That's right. And that's what I used to say. When I was 19, I would just say, I don't love gender. I love the person. And, I just realized that I needed to love me. I was trying so hard to love these people and to get them to love me back that I forgot how to love me. And a lot of people do that along the way. And you know what? In a way, Abigail was blessed not to be a part of my treacherous life. And that if she comes into my life now, I'm a strong person, and I'm somebody that is worthy of her. And so I don't regret anything. I don't. I'm glad that she was brought up healthy and happy, and she's with her girlfriend in Wilmington to this day, and working at a GameStop and just living her dream. She's a video gamer, and I've watched her grow up. I have lots of pictures of her, but there's no telling what they've told her, you guys. There's no telling what she thinks that I think. And so that's why I'm going to message her on her a few days before her birthday and just lay it all out on the table and explain to her how I was tricked. And their lawyer tricked me in court to signing over my rights, saying that I would get to see her, that it was just for medical purpose and so they could get assistance for her. And then it was a big fat lie. Of course, genealogy. Yeah, I'm the same way, Beverly. I just want to be by myself. I don't want to be, I haven't been with a woman in decades, or a decade. So, I just want to be by myself. I was just confused and trying to fight so hard to get somebody to love me. That's all I ever wanted, was someone to just love me, because I didn't have my mom anymore. I didn't have my dad anymore. I just wanted to be loved so bad. But the love that you can earn or gain for yourself, the love you can build for yourself, is phenomenal. It tops any of that kind of love. When you love yourself, it is the best feeling in the world. And I know for a fact that I didn't love myself for a very long time. Didn't. But that's not the case now. That's right, because we all have a horrible past. Like and subscribe to this channel, because if you can't relate because I've been through it, you can relate because one of my subscribers have been through it. This is a community of people that have broken pieces that they are gluing back together with the help and support of one another. That's right. I don't know. She won't respond to anything I've ever said to her in Messenger. She knows I exist. I've sent her friend request. I believe it's why we're here, to learn how to live freestanding. I'm married, but entirely freestanding. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't know why she won't respond to me, because I don't know what she's been told. I do not know. But I know that I have witnesses from my version of the story. And I know that the day that they took her from me, they had to physically assault me, her father and her grandfather. Physically assaulted me and took my child from me, and then served me with custody papers. Because the police will not allow, they will not come out and say you have to give a child to another person here in North Carolina unless you have custody papers. So whoever has possession of the child and serves the other person with papers first will get to keep the child until court, until a judge decides. So once they get the child, which I was letting him see Abigail from the time I left him at 3 months old until 9 months on the weekends. And he was getting her on the weekends, and yeah, I was getting her back through the week. Well, on that final meeting on 9 months, she was 9 months old. He closed the door after we met, and he said, "You'll never see her again." And so I followed him back to his house. Well, he stopped right before he went up into his property, and I had to swerve to go around. So I went to his car to try to get my daughter out, and he pulled her car seat from the other side. So I wasn't going to play tug of war with a 9-month-old child. So I let go of the car seat. He ended up, next thing you know, his father is pulling me, threw me down into a ditch, punched me in the nose before he did so. Then the father of Abigail gets in his truck, drives Abigail up to the house, leaves Abigail with his mother, who's up in the home, drives back down and assaults me again, both of them, while I'm trying to get up their driveway, and then calls the police. And when the police get there, they say that they can't do anything. They call Department of Human Services, and then they served me with papers the very next day for custody court. So when I get to custody court, they say that she has E. coli or whatever, whichever one it is when you wipe the wrong way, and that she's in dire need of medical attention, and that they can't afford all the stuff that she needs, and that they want to get Medicaid, and the only person that can get Medicaid are the guardians, and the only way they can become guardians as grandparents is if I sign over my parental rights. But don't worry, they'll let me have her and keep her overnight, and whenever I want to see her, it's no big deal. Just go ahead and sign. And then the judge even asked me, "Are you sure about this?" And I said, "Yeah, they already worked something out with me that they're gonna let me see her." And he said, "Are you 100% sure?" And I was 19 and stupid and said yes. And so I signed over my parental rights. I left the courthouse. I called them. I said, "I want to see Abigail. I haven't seen her in a few weeks." And because we were waiting on court, and they said, "If you ever call this house again, we will get you for harassment." And then I would call on Mother's Day, her birthdays, and all these years. And every time they would just tell me that it's illegal for me to be calling, and they're going to get a restraining order on me. And then one time she finally answered the call when Abigail was like 10, and said she would meet me out for lunch. And she didn't do that either. That was a big fat no-show. And then I flew in from Mexico when I lived in Mexico in 2009, because she said that she would let me see her, and she never did either. The grandmother always wanted to keep Abigail away from me. The grandmother lost her daughter when she was born. I think she lived maybe a few days or something. And so she really, really wanted Abigail so bad. And she ended up raising her, not the father. The grandmother raised her. And so she didn't stay in town when she turned 18. She left and got as far away from the grandmother as possible. She went to a whole nother state. So it's not like she stayed close. So I don't know what even went on with her growing up in her childhood, but I would really love to know, and I would really love to have a relationship with her. So if you are watching, Abigail, I promise you all the things that you have been told are not true. They're not true. And that I deserve a chance to tell my side of the story. And since you are on your sister's Facebook page, will you please, please respond to my message that I sent to you in a few weeks? Thank you. I love you. Believe it or not, I do. Maybe, just maybe, you know. My husband left after 22 years, just abandoned me and my daughters. I have health issues because of kidney transplant. He don't send money, everything that comes with it, foreclosure and bank. Yeah, I have never gotten child support for any of my kids. I don't get child support for Gage. I don't get disability for Gage, which I need to get a lawyer and get on that. But yeah, I don't get anything from any kind of man. I don't get no support whatsoever. Not child support, not disability from the state. Every dime that I make, I grind and I work for. I work to pay my bills hard. So the money that I made on my YouTube channel, I've made like $200 since I've started this channel, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I will. And that money right there is going to be used to fix my car because my stupid car broke down. But that's life, right? I'm alive and I'm good and I'm okay and my daughter's okay. There's a lot of people who aren't just estranged from their daughters. There's a lot of people whose daughters aren't with us anymore and they'll never be able to see her again. And so I am blessed. I'm not complaining, I promise. I know that my life isn't as bad as I seem to think it was, but we are survivors and we just get through. We just get back up and we keep it moving. You have to. Let your daughter discover the champion you are. Be confident, Mama D. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. I got my children taken away. I pay child support, still do on my 17-year-old. Yeah, if I wouldn't have remarried him, Miss T, I would be doing the same thing. But I was smart enough to do what the attorney told me to do. And I know that's so dumb. Don't ever, ever do that. Never remarry your abuser to get custody back of your children. But my daughter is 19 now, and I couldn't imagine of leaving her in Mexico when I left. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Miss T. Makes me sad. Do you have a relationship with them? Do you get to talk to them at all? That's right. It really is. And that's why I cry on Christmas and I be sad. And I'm not doing that this year. I'm going to come here. We're going to get live. We're going to get down. We're going to have a good time. We're going to uplift each other. We're going to, we may even sing Christmas songs. Who knows? But we're going to get together and be a family right here on Mama Beauty's channel for Christmas Day, because no more sitting around feeling sorry for yourself when you could be uplifting other people that have it a lot worse than us, right? Right. I'm sorry, it's your sister that did it. So does she have your kids? Oh, I hate it when it's family. That's just not right. You have a blessed day too, Jackie. Yeah, I had to walk away from all my friends, Janine. All of them. I left Facebook. I came to this community. I feel like I am closer to you guys who are total strangers to me than I am to people that have been in my life for decades. I've been begging and reaching out on Facebook for people to come over and visit me. I've even offered to give free pedicures, free manicures, free facials, anything to get people here. I even offered to play bingo and give away nails as prizes. Nada, nothing, zip, zilch. I can't even get girls to come over by offering to to do their feet, to get your feet did. So I get it. I'm over my friends. I'm done. I realize I need new friends, and that's why I'm here. And the friends that I've made since I started this channel have done more for me in 6 weeks than my friends that have been with me for decades have done. So when your friends are starting to make you feel like that, Janine, it's time to get new friends. Time to get new friends. Yes, change every playground. We are connected strangers. What we have in here, this group sounds like a lot of survivors. So let's be good to ourselves and know that we can get through anything. That's right. This is a group of some tough A women. And I love it. We are all some bad butts. I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Patty Allen. You're awesome, sister. All right, you guys, I'm going to go hang out with my son. My granddaughter will be here in a little bit. I just wanted to just emotionally vomit all over you guys and let you do the same on me and feel better afterwards. I know I honestly do. And Miss T, I want to catch up on a lot of things. Me and you have so much in common. It's insane. I have so much anger in my heart, but it's righteous anger towards her. The only reason she kept them after I got sober was because her husband was going to leave her. Oh, Miss T, we need to chat. I feel like I need to give you my phone number because we have a lot in common, and that's just not right. That is not right. And I don't get to see my sons as much as I want to because they're with my abuser. And so I only get to see them on Facebook. And so I know how much your heart bleeds for them and how hard it is to know that someone else is in their head and telling them these things and brainwashing them and turning them against you. And it's just not right. It's just not right. Yes, thank you, Silver. All of you guys have had it rough, and I'm giving you a big old hug. My community, you guys are doing the exact same things for me that I'm doing for you. And I love how everyone was quick to share their email for Joe. Hopefully he gets back on here and finds it, or she. And I'm so sorry that we missed that. So next time, help be my eyes and ears in the chat, just in case there's somebody that is reaching out like that. I feel like he was reaching out and he was overlooked, and I feel so bad. Or she, Joe could be a girl name too. But thank you all for sharing. Remember, email me if you want to come live and share your survivor story. It can be from addiction, domestic violence, from a health issue, anything whatsoever. We just want to let people know that we are a surviving, thriving channel of humble beauties. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye, girls. Bye. Bye, boys. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Why is it not working? End.